Hi, today I'm going to demo one of my hobbies that is fused glass. Fused glass involves obviously glass and a kiln. I have two kilns. One of them is in my glass studio at the cabin that's currently under construction, and then I have my bead kiln here at home in this house. The bead kiln is a bead kiln because it has a specially designed door in the front that you can put rods of glass beads that are blown glass in the front of it, and it cools them down or hardens them, called annealing, at a certain temperature per minute to make them hard and take on their new structure. So basically for glass fusing, obviously it takes glass, and the sheets of glass start out in a variety of sizes and shapes. You should be handling these carefully with gloves, of course, but I never wear gloves. In my slideshow that is attached, I do have a picture of my glass shelf at the cabin, and you can see how big some of those glass sheets are. You also need a glass cutter, which is the same type of cutter that's used in stained glass, although fused glass is different than stained glass. And then you have some sort of nippers to actually break the glass after you make the line or score it to snip it. So fused glass takes the glass pieces that start out as the shapes or start out as shapes of glass that are just solid, and it melts them together. It melts them together inside the kiln. I don't know if you can see inside there. Thank you. It has a specially designed heating elements on the side. This is an electronic unit. They heat the glass up to 1,480 degrees. That is the temperature that glass melts at. So once you get your pieces all cut and arranged however you want them, and you can do lots of different things. So you can start out with just a single piece of glass and add little pieces of other cut glass to the top of that, then fuse them together or making it one solid piece. As an example, here's a little flower that I have created that's all melted. Then you can take those and put them into other shapes and mold them into other things. Here's a sample of a glass dish that I have made that actually takes on the form of the glass dish. So you snip them, you piece them together, you take the piece with just Elmer's glue, and you put it inside the kiln on the shelf that is already prepared. You close the door, you turn it on, it'll heat up to 1,480 degrees in segments as it heats and holds the glass temperature. At 1,480 degrees it does melt, then it cools all the way back down to room temperature. And it takes a lot of patience because you can't peek that whole time. It takes 24 hours. So speed ahead for 24 hours. When you take it out, when it's at room temperature, the item that started out as a snowflake with all the pieces and not very smooth turns out smooth and flat. This one actually has a hanger on it, so you could hang it up and use it as an ornament. So there's other things that you can do with the glass kiln or with any kiln. You can create pieces of wall art that are shaped. So this piece is actually a 3-piece ensemble that are shaped, and you can see that. It also has a mirror with this piece. So this hangs in the center. The mirror is actually glued to the glass fusing. You can't fuse the mirror. So these 3 hang beside each other actually in my kitchen. So when these get all done, little pieces of will be glued to them, and these will be drink stirrers. I also have jewelry. That's why I started doing glass fusing, because I like to bead, and a lot of people were beading as well, so I wanted to create something unique. So I had some samples here of some things that are fused glass that I have made with red and white, and also on a beaded chain. This one is actually something that I've created that is wire wrapped as well. So instead of a bail glued to the back, like this one actually has wire wrapping. And then here's another one with another pink, just a pink piece of glass. So you can do pretty much anything. These, when hooked together, similar to the other one, will actually turn into wind chimes. So it's a very fun hobby. And the glass kiln does heat up, doesn't heat up the room, but it does heat up itself, so it's not recommended to use it around kids or around, to touch it. But it doesn't really heat up the room. It is electric. I actually have never used the bead part door of it yet. That is a whole different process that I haven't branched into, but I hope that you learned a little bit about glass fusing and saw some of my products, and I thank you very much. I hope that the slideshow shows you some more. It shows you some pictures of inside my large kiln and my glass, and it has both kilns, so you can see those. Thank you. Come around and wave at the camera, please. And hit off.